Hello, my fellow creative freelancers and solopreneurs, and welcome to the Tuesday 2 o'clock Teen Talk. My name is Aura McKay, and I am a business coach and the founder of Business of Creativity. And I do these weekly live broadcasts coming from my Facebook page as a way to connect with and give back to a community of creative freelancers and solopreneurs. And it is more important than ever that we do stay connected. It is super challenging to do so when we are practicing social distancing and social isolation. And for a lot of people, this can be very, very new in terms of they're used to being out there in the world and being connected to one another. Isolation when you're living on your own can be really negative in terms of mindset and how you feel and emotionally. So especially if you have people in your group that you know, in your friends and family or your circle of influence that do live alone, reach out to them and just check in and make sure that they're doing okay. This conversation that I want to have today is about what can we actually do. I know that there are all different kinds of feelings and reactions that are going on for everyone in my circle of influence. And, you know, some people are really struggling with taking on the anxiety and the fears and sort of the weight of the world. And some people are in denial, and some people are very much like it's not really personally affecting them, so they're not seeing the impact personally, but they're aware of it outside of themselves. Some people are seeing it as an opportunity for a reset, and some people are really just struggling all around, thinking about the impact and their future. So there's no right way to respond to a pandemic. There's no rule book for how we are supposed to react as human beings. And what I'd like to bring to the conversation, though, is a few things that I think that we can do. I believe that there are lots and lots of sources of information, both real and fake, out there. So I am not going to be here as an expert on what is currently happening. What I want to speak to is more about how can we as individuals, as creative freelancers and solopreneurs, what can we do right now for ourselves, for our clients, and to navigate our way through this. So one of the things that comes up right away for people is money, that this is having a huge financial impact on a lot of creatives. Photographers are having events and shoots canceled. Designers and developers are having projects delayed or canceled. People all over the place are experiencing very sudden and traumatic impact to their financial plans, to the cash flow strategy that you guys had created. And so that can be even scarier than the regular roller coaster ride of a gig economy, when we can look out in front of us and we don't have information. We don't have something that we can rely on, any past data or past experiences to look at and say, okay, this is what happened last time. We can feel fairly comfortable that something similar is going to happen this time. We don't have that kind of a blueprint for these kinds of circumstances. We have never been in this place in terms of a market or economy or as a population of human beings on this planet. So it's very, very new. And when new things happen, we often get confronted with uncertainty, when we don't have the ability to look at past models for behavior. There's no blueprint for how do we behave, how do we respond, and how do we thrive or at least survive this potential huge economic impact, especially as self-employed individuals. We don't have the same opportunities for EI in Canada, which is employment insurance, and maybe we will. So there's a lot of maybes. There's a lot of unknowns. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know if there's going to be any subsidizing or stimulus from our governments. We don't know whether or not the same business models are going to be available to us after this all ends up being finished, blows over, ends, who knows. So when we're faced with uncertainty, first of all, we are entrepreneurs, gang. We are entrepreneurs, which means that we are so privileged in so many ways. We have at our fingertips, in our brains, in our creative skills, we have the ability to generate income without being dependent on a job. There are lots of employed people out there that have now lost jobs, lost opportunity, businesses that might be shutting down temporarily, may not be able to open again, and all of those people have a very distinct disadvantage from where we are. They don't have the skills that we have. They don't have the experiences that we have from being working creative entrepreneurs. So just know that as a working entrepreneur, you are in a position of privilege because you have navigated uncertainty already. You already have skills that you have employed previously when you've had those feast and famine highs and lows. And if you've been a creative for as long as I have, you probably navigated your way through 2008, and that economic downturn was a huge impact as well. So take a deep breath and acknowledge your position of privilege. If you do have people that are checking in on you, if you do have your health, if you are not one of those immunocompromised individuals, if you are young and healthy and strong, acknowledge your privilege and do your part. That is the best thing that you can do. But how do we do our business? What do we do with the whole idea of this economic impact and how it might affect us as creative freelancers and solopreneurs? Well, there are a few things that we can do. One of them is to look at our cash flow and our cash flow management strategy. I know a lot of you probably don't have a cash flow management strategy. I was speaking with my mastermind group today, and we were talking about how, I should have had a plan B. I'm supposed to do this. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, oughta, mighta, didn't. And don't beat yourself up for not being ready. I'm gonna say that again. Don't beat yourself up for not being prepared or having a plan in advance for a situation like this. Show yourself some compassion and do what you can to get prepared now. So in terms of cash flow and cash flow strategies, number one, reduce your expenses. In any economic downturn, in any time where we have a tightening of the belt, where we have recession, where we have economic uncertainty, it's an opportunity for us to review where are we spending our money? What things do we have, maybe monthly subscriptions or sort of regular charges against our credit card that we haven't really been paying attention to? Take the time now to look at your expenses and eliminate anything that isn't a need to have. It might be a nice to have. So do you really need your Spotify membership? Maybe you do. Maybe you need that music to keep you sane. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to offer suggestions and ideas. I know that Adobe has set it up so that you can pause your membership for up to 2 months. You can pause your Audible memberships. Maybe there's other opportunities for you to take a break from some of your financial commitments and give yourself a little bit more breathing room when it comes to having to generate income to cover those expenses. So that's something really tangible that you can do, gang, right away, is to review your expenses and tighten up the belt a little bit. And it doesn't always feel comfortable, but it can also feel like you are in control. And I know that for a lot of my clients, there's a lot of anxiety around the uncertainty. So anywhere we can actually get present to a place where we have some control, where we have some autonomy and choice, that can help to ground us in reality and ease some of that spinning of anxiety that happens. The next money thing that you can do is to look for compassion, look for opportunities. Are there any of your clients that really love you and want to support you through these hard times and are willing to maybe find work for you? So just because some areas of business are going through stoppages or downturns doesn't mean every single client. One of my mastermind members got 2 new projects yesterday, big projects, like in thousands of dollar projects. So projects are still going ahead. Just because you might be filled your news feed with doom and gloom doesn't mean that everything is at a full stop. Certainly lots of people are impacted. I do not want to minimize what is happening for creatives all over the place. And I want to let you know that it's not just black and white. So look for the opportunities. Consider following up with past clients that maybe you haven't been in touch with. Think about some of the other skills that you haven't been leveraging, and is there a place that you can leverage them? I am going to be doing some daily doses of vitamin aura. One of the pieces of feedback that I've been getting pretty consistently from my clients is that there is something so vital about having a place to be authentic with how we're feeling and what is coming up for us, and then have a place to shift that perspective and perhaps reframe it a little bit. So the number one message here, gang, is practicing compassion. Compassion for others who may be processing differently or experiencing differently or having a different reaction, or might be facing real different circumstances from what you have, with a lot more fear about their future than maybe you have. So compassion for others and compassion for yourself. One of the sort of shoulda, woulda, couldas that is attacking a lot of my clients is that they feel an obligation to be super productive during this time. Like, well, if I'm not going to work for clients, then I better be super productive and update all my portfolios and figure out all my contracts and, plan out my social media for the next 6 years. You can do that. And however you choose to use your time is completely your choice. And practice compassion. Don't give yourself an obligation to have to do anything. This is an emotionally unsettling time, and I personally believe that your number one priority should be your own health, your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health. So for your own mental and emotional health, I recommend staying connected. Check out businessofcreativity.ca, the events page, and look at, I have several online and virtual events and ways for you to stay connected and stay in a conversation and stay supported. For your emotional health, practice compassion towards yourself and others. And for your physical health, do the social distancing, drink lots of water. I know it can be very, very tempting to eat pizza and chocolate and wine and all that yummy stuff, which is kind of what I've been doing. However, the more we can do to support our immune system and to support our body to move through this as healthy as possible, the better off we are. And all of those things, gang, will help you make clearer decisions and navigate through this successfully. Truthfully, when our brains are hijacked by fear and anxiety, it is much more challenging to think creatively, to come up with innovative solutions and ideas, and to stay connected to the present and what is so. So lots of compassion to all of you, lots of gratitude for having you as part of my network and being able to reach out and connect with you, and wishing you the best through these very trying times. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Ora McKay. I am the founder of Business of Creativity, and we are here to support you to bridge that gap between your creative skills and having the business and lifestyle you want. And now, even more than ever, we want to be supporting you as you navigate through these trying times. All right, have a great week.